Thank you for your backing on Patreon.
Hi guys, John here from Mancbuses and welcome back to the channel. Some breaking news as always. Mancbuses being a bit late on the video side of it, but it's bad news unfortunately for the drivers. MCT in Manchester Community Transport, as some of you might know, not my best friends, but I knew some of the drivers that work for them. They have in the past few days released a statement which I will just read for you, which is Manchester Community Transport MCT has announced today that proposing to close in late April, citing mounting losses and difficult trading conditions. The community transport operator was rescued from closure in 2017 by joining the HCT group, and has been reliant on them financial, management and technical support since that time. Operating conditions for MCT have not improved sufficiently for the continued support to be viable. HCT Group can no longer sustain MCT's losses and has no alternative but to withdraw the support. It's a really sad day for all of us, said Phil Stockley, Interim Managing Director at MCT. Colleagues from across the group and the whole staff team at MCT have worked tirelessly to put the operations here on a sustainable footing. We understand the level of difficulty facing MTC when we look at this challenge, but felt strongly it was worth every possible effort to preserve the community transport organisation. With such a long-standing tradition of service in the area, we have done all we can, but the situation does not appear to be recoverable, and we can no longer maintain our support. Which basically means at the end of April they are looking at closing their business down. Unfortunately, that does mean that the tenders that they do, because it's all MCT did, will be put into what they call an emergency tender. So what will happen is TFGM will choose which operators are most suited, whichever one's put in the lowest price, to run the tenders until the end of the tender's contract. So it's not like a normal contract, so say there's only 3 months left on it, say first only have to run it for 3 months and then it'll be bid back in again. So if it does make a loss, it's not a big deal, so to speak. Unfortunately, that obviously means that all MCT employees will be made redundant, losing the jobs. It's a difficult situation for them because most of them left big places, big companies, because they didn't like it or for other personal reasons, we'll call it. But obviously they've got to find jobs now. It's not hard. As a bus driver, you've always got a job. It is a shame, but you can see you could see this sort of the decline of MCT just by looking at the buses that they've got. A lot of them are severely damaged. Severely damaged, and other bits and bobs like that on there. You know, it is a shame. They don't own all the buses, I believe, so some will go back to TFGM. But what this tends to show is Manchester Community Transport was a more non-for-profit sort of thing, hence its name, Community Transport. It tried to run the way that people want the franchising system, the unfranchising system to run, where everything's tendered out. It doesn't work because that's what MCT did. You've got to allow operators to make profit. If you can't make profit, you can't invest. But there's got to be profit there in case you have a route that doesn't make any money. But you can't just pull out of it straight away. So then you've got to sustain that loss for a while. However, MCT, because they only ever did tenders, they got paid for the tender, and then things outside of their control will make it that they get fined, or a late running bus, or a bus breaks down, then they get fined. because they never really made a profit, then unfortunately you can't invest in the fleet. Oh dear. Which just goes to show why commercial services are important. So unfortunately it is sad news for MCT. It's another small time operator I say small, they were quite big, but it's another small time operator gone. Don't believe everything you read. I mean, I know the post that I'm reading out there from Stadebridge Town, they've announced that they're going bust. So the 387 Ashton Tameside Hospital and all that will be withdrawn without replacement. That doesn't happen. It is a tendered route. It will be put under an emergency tender. So someone will have to operate it until the tender's up. At that point, 387 is actually a tendered route. It is up to TFGM whether the route needs to be cut or will get re-tendered out. TFGM choose these things by looking at who will leave in hardship, what other ways of transport is there. Is there a train station nearby? Is there another bus service nearby that they can change at? Stuff like that. They do look at the hardship that it may bring to, let's say, the elderly community or vulnerable community. So there's lots that go in it before people say, why did they cut it? Because I know they're up in arms about the 375 or whatever it is that's being cut tendered wise. It's going to get cut. If it costs the taxpayer and no one's using it, then unfortunately it's going to get cut. If no one goes to this, I've seen it before, the village that's going to get its bus supply cut off. If no one's using it in the village, or only like 1 or 2 people are using it in the village a week, it's going to get cut because it's not sustainable. People, it's more the want to do it and go places and using the service, not the it's there if we need it, unfortunately. So I'm going to leave you with that. It is sad news, obviously. I hope the employees of MCT find new jobs well. Same with all the management, etc. So unfortunately, yeah. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye.